Hey everyone, this is Jennifer from Tarle Speech. Welcome. I'm going to pull up another YouTube so I can see the live chat here. So let me do that and make sure everything is working here. Okay. Okay. So hello. So let me know where you're from if you're here. It would be, and thank you for letting me know I am live. I always kind of wonder, am I really live? So I am so sorry about this weekend. It was a little bit crazy here in my house. We had a little bit of an illness, but everything's okay now. We're all fine. So I just wanted to, we're going to do 2 back-to-back classes today. One will be on the S ending, which we're going to do now, and then the next class will be on contractions. And then on Thursday, you get 2 classes again since I had to cancel for the weekend. One will be on ED endings, and the other one will be on the flap T. So again, thank you so much for your patience. Thanks for all of your comments and your views this week. I really appreciate it. I can't believe I've been in business for 13 years. Someone did comment, am I the oldest teacher on YouTube? Meaning, like, have I, been the English teacher here the longest? I don't know, but 13 years is a long time. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me share my screen with you. Okay, so you know who I am, and let's go to the next slide. So we're going to talk about the rule for pronouncing the suffix S. Okay. All right, so when we add an S to a word, it can be pronounced 3 ways: as S, S, as Z, Z, and as is. Okay, so let me go ahead and stop my screen sharing because I definitely get questions and comments on making sure I do both with the reading and with watching my face. So here we go. So when we add an S to the end of a word, we can pronounce it as the letter S, the S sound, S, as the Z sound, Z, or as is. All right, so let's go ahead and let me give you some examples. All right, so how does this all work? It's actually a pretty easy rule, and you won't have to think about it as much once you learn it. So we have 3 things. When a word ends in an S and we pronounce it as S, that is because the word itself, the root word, ends in a voiceless sound. So what is a voiceless sound? A voiceless sound means that your throat is not vibrating. So it is not moving. All right, here I am again. So what I'm going to have everyone do is feel your throat and say, S, S. That's the S sound. And when you put your hand here, your throat is not going to be moving. Now, let's do that one more time. Now let's make that sound a Z. Z, Z. You feel that movement? You feel your throat vibrating right there? That means that your vocal cords are banging together, and that is called voicing. So a voiceless sound, your throat does not move, and those sounds tend to be a little quieter. S, P, K, Ch, F. As opposed to voiced sounds, they tend to be a little harsher and a little louder because your throat is vibrating. And those are sounds like Z, B, D, G, J. So you can kind of hear they're a little bit louder, they're a little bit harsher. So if you think about that, is my throat vibrating at the end of the root word, or is it not vibrating? That's going to help you apply this rule. So we're going to go ahead and practice some of these endings here. All right, so let's start with this one. When, let's see. Yes, Z is voiced. Let me answer this question. So Z is voiced. And Z, I spelled that wrong, is voiced. And then S is voiceless. Okay. And hello in Ecuador, Javier. All right, so listen to these words without the S ending and just listen for that softness. And if you want to say them along with me, put your hand on your throat and you'll feel that at the end of that word, there's no voicing. Cup, cat, pack, cough, Ruth. So one more time. Cup, cat, pack, cough, Ruth. Okay, so you can feel that there's nothing moving there. So now let's add that voiceless sound. It makes sense because we're not gonna, try to make extra work for ourselves and add that voiceless S onto those words. So cup, cups, cat, cats, pack, packs, cough, coughs, Ruth, Ruths. So one more time, I'm going to say them now with just the S. Cups, cats, packs, coughs, Ruths. Okay, you give them a try on your own. Okay, anybody have any questions? All right. So let's move on to the Z sound. So we can pronounce the letter S as a Z sound in lots of situations. So we would say the Z sound for an S in words like is, because, as. So most of you know that if you have been studying English for a while. So this is a situation too where we spell the word with the letter S, but we're going to say Z. And let's talk about that rule. So the rule is what we just practiced. When the word ends in a voiceless sound, we're going to add a voiceless sound, the S. So it makes sense. When the word ends in a voiced sound, we're going to add another voiced sound, the Z. Okay? So I'm going to say the words for you. Go, goes. Tom, toms. Can, cans. Call, calls. Cab, cabs. Bed, beds. Dog, dogs. Okay, I'm going to show you those words here in just a second. Okay, let's try these again. Go, goes. Tom, toms. Can, cans. Call, calls. Cab, cabs. Bed, beds. Dog, dogs. Okay, so awesome. So just keep in mind, all vowel sounds are voiced sounds. Okay, so that's easy. If the word ends in a vowel, you're always going to add that Z sound. Adding the Z sound as a bonus will help you fix your vowel length issues, because when we add a voiced sound to the end of the word, that vowel is always going to sound a little bit longer. And the reason is because the voice is on for the vowel and it's going to continue into that voiced consonant, into that Z. And so when you add that sound, the vowel is going to sound a little teeny tiny bit longer, and that's going to make your vowels sound correct. So a lot of times my students will be able to pronounce all vowel sounds, but if they don't apply this ending rule, then they run into problems because then their vowels sound incorrect and they sound a little bit shorter. So yes, this is a little bit more of an advanced lesson, but it is something that if you're working on your vowels, that it will help. All right, so let's move on to when do we pronounce this S as an is? Spelling finally helps us in this situation. So when a word ends in a hissing sound, like an S, an SH, a Z, a CH, or a J, so S, sh, ch, z, j, a sound that's has a little more of an airflow coming out, we're going to add is. And if you think about it, it would be almost impossible to say bus or bus. So we have to add that vowel to make it a little bit easier to say. Spelling, when we spell words that end in an S or a SH or a Z or a CH, this is very helpful because we add an ES. So spelling finally helps you. So when you see that ES, you can pronounce it as is, okay? When you do this too, it's going to add another syllable. So this is going to help your word stress. So if you say the word bus and then you add the is, bus is, wishes, buzzes, churches, judges. So let me show you those words. And again, these are all voiced. We're using our voice here. Okay, so I'm going to say them and then you take a turn. Bus, buses. Wish, wishes. Buzz, buzzes. Church, churches. Judge, judges. So buses, wishes, buzzes, churches, judges. Okay, let's try all of these. Let me go back up here. Okay, and yes, I did mistype Caradas. Yes, I see that you're laughing at me. I know. I hit send too soon and you can't take it back. So S is not a voiced and a voiceless sound. It is only voiceless. So that was my mistake. So thanks for pointing that out. So I'm going to type that again. S is voiceless. Just so everyone has this correct on the transcript. And Z is voiced. Okay. So thank you about that. Hello, Rhythm, Raj. And Christian, I will get to your question in a second. Okay, so let's try all of these words again. Cups, cats, packs, coughs, roots. Cups, cats, packs, coughs, roots. And then when we pronounce it as a Z after a voiced sound, goes, toms, cans, calls, cabs, beds, dogs. Goes, toms, cans, calls, cabs, beds, dogs. And as an is, when it comes after a sibilant sound or a hissing sound, buses, wishes, buzzes, churches, judges. Buses, wishes, buzzes, churches, judges. Okay, so that's it. So again, S is voiceless, so you're going to add another. When you have a word that ends in a voiceless sound, you're going to add S, which is a voiceless sound. When you have a word that ends in a voiced sound, you're going to add another voiced sound, the Z, Z. And then when you have a word that ends in a hissing sound, you're going to add is, and spelling does finally help you because we usually spell those words with an E and a Z. So does anyone have any questions? And then Christian, please clarify your question, please. I'm not quite sure which word you want me to pronounce. And then is W a vowel or a consonant? Great question. It is considered a semi-vowel, so it has characteristics of both. This is interesting though. If a word ends in the letter W, that's only a spelling thing. We typically, actually we don't use the W sound at the end of a word. Some people think that we do because certain vowels make kind of sound like that, but technically a true W sound we don't use at the end of a word in English. It's just a rule. So again, W for sure is voiced, W, but we typically don't use that sound at the end of a word, okay? So it is both a vowel and a consonant. It's a semi-vowel. It has characteristics of both. So does that answer your question? And then I still don't know. I don't know if you're still here, Christian, but I don't know. I think you mean this word, thought. That would be thought, thought. So only 3 sounds for all those letters. Thought. If you mean thorough, because you have an R in there, I think it's just a misspelling thing, that word, then it is thorough, thorough. And I actually just did a video on that. So I do have a video on the word thought, and I do have a video on the word thorough. So you can check both of those out. Okay, so that's all we have for today. Anybody have any more questions before we go? Just so you know, we do have another class coming up today at 12:30 if you want to join me. If you do have any questions, you can leave those in the comment section below. Please share this with your friends. Like I always say, seriously, that helps me out so much. I do have a new book that was just published on Google Play. I'm super excited because I have many people who don't use Apple products like Macs and iPhones and iPads. So I've had products on for them for years. So you can go to iTunes and get all of my books on there. I have many, many books. I have books for Japanese speakers. I have books on vowels. I have books on consonants. I've got a ton of things on there, little small mini books if you just need to practice certain sounds. And so now I'm kind of taking the jump into Google, which has been a little bit easier than I had ever expected. So thank you, Google. And I have a new book on how to say vowel sounds, and it's really nice and convenient. You can use it on your computer. You can use it on your Android phone, and all of the audio is embedded into the book. So it's a workbook, as all of my books are. There's a little bit of instruction, but it's mainly using words and sentences to practice your sounds with my audio examples. Okay, so Yatish, hello, nice to see you. All right, well, it looks like that's it, and we don't really have any more questions. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much for all of your support for getting me here to 13 years. And I hope to see you all in a little bit at 12:30 my time, which is in about 10 minutes. Okay, thank you so much. See you guys soon.